All right, welcome everybody to Cell and Gene Therapy on the Mesa. This is James Riddle. I'm here to tell you a little bit about Advarra. Thank you for joining our virtual presentation. Hope to be able to get to see everybody at Carlsbad. Looking forward to meeting you in the exhibit hall or in the actual halls or at any of the other events that are going on at the Mesa. Please do come and seek me out. We can say hello just for facial recognition. This is what I'll look like when we're in the meeting hall, just so you know what I look like in a mask. I usually go in reverse, wear the mask first, take it off so you can see what I look like. We're going to go mask up direction this time. So I'm from Advarra, I'm Vice President of Research Services. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Advarra, what we do, and how we support cell and gene therapy research. So please feel free to send questions at the end. I would normally say ask questions, but there's a link at the end where you can send questions. Shoot me an email. Let me know if there's any information we can provide. So this is Advarra. We are a research services organization. We support cell and gene therapy sponsors, manufacturers, and CROs. I've been doing it for a very long time in all different therapeutic areas. We are not a CRO, and we don't make product. We provide support services and independent review services to make the clinical research enterprise move and drug discovery go along faster, smarter, and safer. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our products and services. As I mentioned before, if you have questions, feel free to shoot me an email at the end of the presentation. First and foremost, Advarras' mission is the advancement of human health, whether that be preclinical, clinical, post-approval, doing health economics outcomes research, et cetera. We are all about the advancement of human health. We are a global provider and partner of many different services, and we promote the development of life-changing therapies. At the end of the day, that's what Advarra is all about. And I suspect that that mission will resonate with most of the folks who are listening to this particular presentation, and would love to talk about it more when we meet in person at the conference. Advarra is primarily about three big things. We do independent review, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the middle of the presentation. We have an extensive and very experienced consulting service that helps gene therapy and cell product sponsors and CROs develop their therapies, develop their treatments, and bring them to market. We also have a technology division, which helps sponsors connect with research sites, educate participants, engage research participants, track training, do safety reporting, and the like. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But at the end of the day, Advarra has integrated solutions to move and advance your clinical research. That's the take-home message. We work in every major therapeutic area. We've been around doing this for about 40 some odd years. Various iterations of our organization have been providing support for sponsors in conducting clinical trials for a very long time. So no matter what the therapeutic area, whether it be oncology, ophthalmology, et cetera, we've seen it. Device studies, seen that too. And now with the advent and explosion of cell and gene therapy, we've created specific centers of excellence to support our cell and gene therapy partners. Very proud to support the Operation Warp Speed, and also very humble to have participated and supported every single Operation Warp Speed vaccine trial. Has run through or touched or been supported by Advarra's technology or review services. And now we're seeing the results of those activities in that maybe we'll get to see you in person, hopefully. And as I mentioned, just remember what I look like in a mask. I probably will be wearing this same color scheme. Please come by and say hello. Would appreciate it. Advarra is around 800 employees. We have offices scattered all around the planet. I've been told that the Geneva, Switzerland office is extremely nice, but I have not been there personally. Our Center of Excellence for supporting cell and gene therapy sponsors is based in Research Triangle Park. That is where most of our IBC and biosafety experts are at. However, we have biosafety experts stationed just about all over the world to support our research review activities, as well as our consulting activities that focus on international research regulations, US-based research regulations, et cetera. But this is a short glimpse of where we're at. Headquarters is in Columbia, Maryland. So first thing I'd like to talk about as far as support services that would be of interest to cell and gene therapy sponsors and CROs is our consulting activities. Advarra has been providing consulting services to industry sponsors in the cell and gene therapy space for quite some time, and for other therapeutic areas for a lot longer. So we work in both small molecule, we work in device, we work in cell and gene therapy, we work in biologics. The centers of excellence for Advarra Consulting are divided into 4 main groups, but the support services range from all the way in drug discovery, all the way through approval. And so as you're looking at this slide, if you're thinking about how you're going to bring your drug out of preclinical, bring it into the clinical space, bring it to market, if you need support in any one of these areas, CMC, industrial hygiene, BLA submission, whether it be other international regulatory submissions, lab practices, manufacturing practices, we have experts in our consulting practice that have been in these areas, experienced in industry, and can help you move your projects along. And throughout the entire development life cycle, we have experts in REMS, QMS, and IAR, the independent asset reviews. So if you're interested in any of these services, need support in any of them, or just want to learn a little bit more, please feel free to shoot me an email at the end of the presentation or whenever the spirit moves you. The other area that I'd like to talk about here at this particular slide is Advarra's review services, specifically in the clinical space. As you're going through your clinical trials, moving out of that preclinical phase, getting things into humans, making sure that you're getting all of the necessary data, scientific justification and the like, leading into an approval. We support with independent review services to oversee those clinical trials. IRB, IBC, DMC, it's a big alphabet soup right there. We're going to talk a little bit more about that here in just a few minutes. But the review services and the consulting practice do work together in many respects, but the review services are kept independent. The boards are independent from the consulting practice. For any areas in this particular space, if you are interested in joining the consulting practice, we would like to hear from you as well. Now, this is the buffet of services. Again, we're not a CRO, but we certainly do help CROs along this path, and we definitely help startup and young industry sponsors in the cell and gene therapy space, and even big established organizations in the cell and gene therapy space. Advarra Consulting, our roots go back about 25 years. We have not been doing gene therapy consulting for 25 years because it hasn't been around for 25 years, but there's more than 1,000 experts that are in our consulting practice, spread around 60 countries, and we work with almost every top pharmaceutical company. The consulting practice takes a results-driven approach, deep client experience. That's really the take-home point. So our experts are folks who have been in industry, have been in academia, biosafety experts, et cetera, and they understand what it takes to bring a gene therapy product to market and how that might differ from a small molecule drug or a device. It's a very different set of expertise, shipping, manufacturing, all very different from what you might experience in the drug world. Deep experience in that area. Let's talk a little bit about the review services. So as your studies and your products are reaching into human trials, you're going to need independent ethics oversight. Advarra is the largest integrated IRB and IBC in the world. The IRB oversees research and looks at the safety of and protection of participants. The Institutional Biosafety Committee, or IBC, looks at the safety of the staff, containment, and other issues at the site. The two reviews are coordinated. The boards are separate, but the research staff at Advarra that supports these two committees integrate the reviews so that you as the sponsor get a seamless and integrated experience. Same thing for CROs. So if you have clinical trials that are entering into phase 1, phase 2, they're already in phase 3. If you're in phase 3, congratulations, you're almost there. The review services from Advarra, well-tuned to cell and gene therapy expertise, and we can support your IBC reviews all over the world. Also available from Advarra under the review services umbrella, data monitoring committees and endpoint adjudication committees. Depending on the nature of your study, you may need an independent data safety monitoring board, or DMC, to oversee the research data as it's being generated. Make sure you haven't hit your endpoint. Make sure it isn't time to stop early. There isn't some incidental safety finding that might impact the ongoing conduct of the study, etc. Endpoint adjudication, complex medical events require some expert adjudication and evaluation by our team of experts. We can provide that service as well. One more note about the Biosafety Committee. So this is very specific to gene therapy. As you enter into your clinical trials, you are going to run across either yourself or sites that require a Biosafety Committee. If you haven't run into the IBC before, you probably will before you get to the end of phase 3 and get into approval process. Advarra operates the largest IBC in the world. We administer biosafety committees for over 600 research institutions. And those biosafety committees operate much like the IRB as far as function, but the review focus is very different. The review focus is looking at safety, spill containment, safe handling procedures, and the like. Any of the sites that have joined our Gene Therapy Ready network are registered with NIH, set up with Advarra's IBC, and ready to review your research studies that you may need to place there at their location. Turnaround time, under 10 business days. Short note about the Gene Therapy Ready site network. This is an organization of sites, about 600 strong when I put this slide together, universities, NCI cancer centers, private research sites. If you have a gene therapy study that needs to be conducted at multiple sites, pick a site from the list, ready to get up and running, ready to be reviewed. These sites are standing by, ready to conduct your research. So if you want to learn a little bit more about who's in this Gene Therapy Ready network, how it works, how you would select sites off this list, either as the sponsor or the CRO, let me know. Or there's a spot on the Advarra website where you can request a copy of the list and we'll send it to you forthwith. I mentioned technology early on in the presentation. So Advarra is also a technology provider. We build and sell software that supports sponsors and CROs in advancing your clinical trials. The one I would like to highlight for purposes of this presentation is our Longboard Platform. The Longboard Platform focuses on participant and patient engagement, connecting sites to the sponsor, making sure that you can maintain protocol compliance all throughout the life cycle of your clinical trials. Amazing platform. Electronic consent for participants, training for staff. It's just, it was really a game changer for sponsors who've used it, in including sites in the overall process, the training process, engaging clinical research coordinators and sites and participants all together to improve patient retention, improve protocol performance, improve enrollment, and also improve the overall compliance tracking for the clinical trial. That Longboard platform is available only from Advarra, and very much would like to set up a demo and show you what it's capable of doing. You can reach out to me at the end of the session and I'll put you in touch with the right folks. This is a sampling of the companies we work with. As I mentioned earlier, we work with just about every major pharmaceutical company and all of the major CROs in cell and gene therapy and other areas for small molecule and device, social behavioral research, and the like. But for cell and gene therapy research, we work with just about everybody who is entering into human trials. And our consulting practice works with many folks who are in preclinical and drug discovery phases, in lab practices, CMC, et cetera. So if you're working with Advarra to support your research and move those research trials along safer, faster, and smarter, you're in good hands and you're in good company. So with that, here's my contact information at the bottom of the screen. If you are interested in any of these services, would like to learn more, please feel free to reach out. I'm the designated point of contact for purposes of the Cell and Gene Therapy on the Mesa conference, and also just the general contact in general. There's a lot more folks at Advarra besides myself, so don't be surprised if I put you in touch with the right person. But I'm the person to start with. And again, if you are at the conference and you are in the exhibit hall, this is what I'm going to look like. So feel free to come by, do a fist bump or whatever you're comfortable with, and we'll have a nice conversation about how Advarra can support your research moving forward. With that, thank you and have an excellent conference and an excellent rest of the day.